So, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm very glad this is the second lecture of this coil in soft and research in soft and digital skills. This course happens within the framework of the Impact Virtual Exchange program, also the eminent master degree, and is a collaboration of universities from Europe and in Israel. So I'm very happy that today we host one friend of ours, Agnieszka Zielinska, from the University of Bielsko-Biała in Poland. Agnieszka supports our events, blended intensive programs, online lectures, Erasmus days. Please mute your microphone. I will appreciate this. I'm muted. And she's going to discuss with us and with you mainly the topic of emotional intelligence, EI, that is considered by a lot of people one of the most, I will say, wanted competencies that any employee should have. So the floor is to Agnieszka for the next, I will say, 90 minutes in order to interact with you, discuss with you. We are looking forward to listening your opinion, your positions about the importance and how to cultivate emotional intelligence. From my perspective, it's something that I'm suffering. I don't think so that, my emotional intelligence is on a high level, but it's something that I will stay with you and I will listen and I will interact whenever this will be requested. So the floor is to Agnieszka. Agnieszka, thank you very much for your contribution. Also, I would like to thank my colleague Noga, Samia, that are here with us in order to support, and also the students from all over the world. That we have now students all over the world. So thank you very much, and the floor is yours, Agnieszka.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm very glad to be here and to have this connection with you. Today, we will focus on the emotional intelligence. It will be only the introduction because the topic is extremely huge. And as Kostas said, I'm not only one speaker here, so I'm very, very curious of your opinions, your reflections when it comes to the Samia, Noga, and other my colleagues, and also your opinions and reflections. I mean, our dear students. We are here for you. So please feel free if you need support from us or something should be explained in additional way. So I'm very glad that we have an impact project and we conduct this this coil, soft and digital skills. Firstly, I would like to start from the rules for this meeting and for this seminar. So I would like to ask you to use the QR code or to use the code that you see below. The way that you use it, it's up to you totally. You can use your mobile and scan the QR code. You can use your notebook and open another window with typing menti.com and use this code. So immediately, exactly in 1 second, I will start this space for our collaboration. Oh yeah, I see that some of you already joined. Thank you so much for it. Today, we are focused on emotional intelligence. It's a lot about not only intelligence, but even more about emotions. So at the beginning, I would like to ask you, what exactly do you expect from this meeting? I mean, especially rules of our collaboration. What kind of assumptions do you have when it comes to the way of collaboration, when it comes to the listening each other? What exactly do you need? So I would be very, very thankful for your engagement in this question. I see that we have some answers already. If somebody joined exactly right now, on the right corner, you can see the QR code for our common space. You can screen this code and join us. For now, it would be a pleasure for me to agree rules for our collaboration. So respect everyone around us. Thank you so much. Yes, definitely, I agree. Respect each other opinions. Respect, amazing. Non-judgmental, active listening. Thank you. Patient before responding. Mutual understanding, pluralism. Here, I guess, mutual understanding and respecting perspectives. Yes. Only one speak at the moment. Yes. However, I hope that not only me will speak, but also you will be open to share your opinions. Just respect different opinions. Yes, mutual recognition and respect, asking the students some questions. Yes, and allowing us to express our thoughts, correcting us when needed. Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, I prepared some questions for you, so I hope we'll hear your voice too. Understanding the diversity of people's emotions and reactions. Yes, thank you so much for it. We are here exactly to be more aware of those perspectives and reactions. Respect, understand other people's opinion, understanding the other person who collaborating with me, find the best dynamic that works for the partners, develop a growth mindset. Yes, excellent. Not speaking over one another, everyone has room to share. Definitely negotiate, accept differences, develop a growth mindset, be cooperative, active listening, and ask for ideas, purpose ideas, be open-minded. I believe you would need a good communication skills, leadership roles, creativity, initiative approach, courage. Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much. Open to new opinion. Be yourself. Oh, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much for it. So yeah, definitely, I agree with these rules. And here I would like to show what I prepared for you, which is totally aligned with answers that you provided. So from my point of view, it would be amazing to have respect among us, to have the support, to listening carefully. And also I add something more. Today we have classes focused on emotional intelligence. However, this is the beginning of our story, or this is the part of our story, because maybe some of you've already have knowledge about emotional intelligence, and it's not possible to have full comprehensive knowledge. We are lifelong learners here. So even more, I would like to say thank you for this opportunity to provide these classes, because honestly, I've learned a lot during preparing this module for you. So definitely with that kind of way, we will collaborate. And the second question, you wrote about questions. So the second question that I would like to ask you today, and you can do it in two different ways. If you want, we can write our answers using the application. Yes, how do you feel? Or if you want, it would be amazing to hear your voice based on the question, how do you feel right now? Exactly right here, right now. Try to find the adjective or many of them to describe what exactly do you feel exactly in this moment. Let's try to do it. And this exercise that we are doing right now is extremely important because emotional intelligence, it's not only about the knowledge, it's even more about the practice and being aware of our feelings. So if we are able to identify what exactly I'm feeling right now, and I'm able to express myself, it's much easier to understand each other, our different perspectives, our different emotions. And this is the bridge to understand others. But also when we go inside, we can understand ourselves better. So I see we have more than 40 answers. Amazing. For now, majority of participants are extremely curious, a bit tired, and I understand it. Thank you for being honest, excited, anxious, love, or interested, tired, relaxed. Empathy we have here also, a bit stressed, I see, hungry, proud, anger, needs to work more, okay, relatedness, thank you, underachieved, focused, sensational, powerful, happy, homesick. Oh, I hope it will be better soon. Something else. Neutral, I see also. Comfortable, I see also. So thank you so much for this activity, and I hope we'll be able to do this exercise also at the end, maybe in a bit different form. However, by this exercise, I would like to underline that when we are talking about emotional intelligence, our self-awareness is the first step to be better in emotional intelligence. So thank you so much for this exercise. And in a dynamic way, I would like to ask another question, the last question in this part of our meeting. How do you think? This is multiple choice question. According to your intuition, or maybe according to your knowledge, emotional intelligence refers to which dimension, which aspects? It can be managing emotions so as to attain specific goals, maybe understanding emotions, emotional language, maybe using emotions to facilitate thinking, or maybe perceiving emotions accurately in a relevant way. you can still consider. For now, we can see that according to our intuition, emotional intelligence refers the most to the understanding emotions and emotional language. However, some of you have the feeling that it's about managing emotions. Also, we have few people who have the impression that it's about perceiving emotions, how we see, how we perceive emotions. But also we have some participants who decided it's about using emotions. You wrote a bit earlier that you're curious. So I guess you are curious which answer is the correct one. And the correct answer is that all of those dimensions refers to emotional intelligence. And I will show you a bit later that all those four aspects consist, build. Emotional intelligence consists of all those four branches, we could say, in that way. So we can see that emotional intelligence is multidimensional phenomenon. This is multi-faces phenomenon, and it's not so easy to say only in one word what the emotional intelligence is. So thank you so much for your engagement in this part of our meeting and presentation. And let's move to the definition, or maybe you are able to say what the definition will be. Let's see. Do we have the volunteer? Yes.
Could you please repeat the question?
Yes. How can we define emotional intelligence?
Sorry, can I speak?
Yes, of course. How can we define? Yeah.
So I think that when we're talking about emotional intelligence, we actually mean that it's the way that we feel and the way that we react about this feeling.
Excellent. Thank you.
This was my first thought when I heard about emotional intelligence.
Thank you. And this is very correct. This is very correct. So it's not only one way, it's also about reaction and the relation with others. So
Yes.
this is exactly as you said. I hope we'll see it. Yes. What is the emotional intelligence? Exactly as you said, this is the ability to understand, to manage our emotions, as well recognize and influence the emotions of those around us. So it is exactly based on the relations when it comes to our personality, but also others. So from the theoretical point of view, thank you a lot for your contribution and very, very correct answer and very correct intuition about emotional intelligence.
Thank you.
When it comes to the theoretical point of view, when I was reading about emotional intelligence, I was curious when exactly it was created as the phenomenon. And I was so surprised that it wasn't so far and so many years ago. It was in 1990, two researchers, Professor John Mayer and Professor Peter Salouier, they prepared the research paper. It was exactly emotional intelligence. So we can see that 34 years ago, it was the first paper about emotional intelligence. It wasn't centuries. So it's very, very new phenomenon. Maybe that's why we still learning how to deal with emotional intelligence. And we can see that in this article, this is the first article about emotional intelligence, the most famous. And if you would like to know more, here you have the source, the information, when you can find it. And in this paper, professors, they presented the framework of emotional intelligence, and they especially underline why it is important. So could we talk about a bit about this question? How do you think why emotional intelligence can be useful and can be important?
May I please answer?
Yeah.
I believe that emotional intelligence is a very important skill for every human being, although not everyone has it, because at the end of the day, humans are social as from their very core. So it's very important to have this skill, even at work or with your friends or with your family. And I think it's sorry, I forgot. But at the end of the day, when we work with people, you need to understand. You need to be empathic to the other side, and to collaborate. It's important too.
Yeah. Thank you, Hadas. This is correct pronunciation of your name?
Yeah, my name is Hadas. Yeah.
Excellent. So Hadas, thank you so much. And you underlined one key point when it comes to the emotional intelligence, and the answer why. Because we need it the whole time. We need emotional intelligence not only at work, as you said, when we are maybe leaders, maybe just co-workers, but also we need, and the emotional intelligence can be useful simply in relation with our friends, with our colleagues, even out of the professional workspace. So we can use it to understand better ourselves. We can use emotional intelligence in the area of our personal life, our family, our friends, but also we can use it in the area of professional collaboration. So thank you for this opinion. What else?
Can I add something?
Of course.
I think that it's deeper than this. I mean that I think that emotional intelligence helps us to handle our emotions. I think it's a way of communication. So we connect with people. It helps us to make better choices and stay calm when life gets complicated, I think.
Yes, yes, exactly. Thank you, Helen. Definitely. What else? What else could we add when it comes to the answer for the question why emotional intelligence can be useful for us?
It's very useful in order, to manage projects, in order to manage companies, in order to be able to see the other person's point of view. I mean, it involves, a lot of stuff. but mainly to understand the other, understand yourself, have a clear, they used to say to have a clear mind when you decide. Now I can understand, you know, I mean, it's something very important because it builds teams, but also can destroy teams if you don't have it.
Definitely.
Of
And I
course,
see-
you know, as you said, this depends on both sides, because if, you know, one side probably has an emotional intelligence and the others, you know, they don't react, then your emotional intelligence helps you to decide that, you know, this cannot go on, no? So it's not only one part.
Of course, and even if we see that on the other side, it's a bit different approach, we can be aware of it. We can find ourselves in the situation. And I see we have also some opinion at the chat. It helped us, one from Raka, it helped us connect deeply with individuals while understanding temperaments and fosters collaboration. Yes, definitely. And also I prepared, I will show you a bit later, I prepared for you example of research studies where exactly those aspects are underlined. What else we have? From Adi. It can be useful in order to make sure we're all in synchronic, I guess, when communicating a certain matter. It helps us distinguish that blue is blue and sad is sad. Yeah. And you underline also the way of communication. I mean, if we have the communication asynchronously, or we have the communication exactly in the same time. It's also about understanding each other and provide effective communication. Thank you so much, Adi. And we have also from Hadas, assist us also to fit in and understanding situations and different emotions. Yes. As a mother, oh, amazing. As a mother, I can tell that emotional intelligence is crucial, understanding the child needs. Exactly. So what a bit Helen said that Helen or Hadas, I guess Hadas, what Hadas said, that not only in professional workspace we use emotional intelligence, but sometimes even more around our personal life or personal environment. And we have also the thought from Jonathan or Jonathan. Correct me, please. What is
Jonathan.
correct?
It's Jonathan.
It's Jonathan. Excellent. So Jonathan, I see a clear understanding of myself. Yeah, very, very crucial. And I see Samia would like to add something. It would be great to hear you.
Yeah.
I'm muting myself. Okay, now I think it has to do also with taking responsibility for your actions. So it makes all the difference between blaming others for consequences of your actions than putting the focus on yourself and your emotions and how you manage your emotions. And taking responsibility for your actions is the key for future success in any action or any activity you take upon yourself. So as I see it, taking responsibility is very connected to emotional intelligence.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Samia, for underlying it. Exactly as we were talking a bit earlier, it's not only our emotions, but also others' emotion and the relation. So exactly as Samia said, it's not only about me, but also how my behavior affects others around me. So thank you for this opinion. It's very, very...
To ask a question.
Of course.
I want to ask about emotional intelligence is something that we can develop or something that we just have?
Thank you, Helen, for this question. I expected that kind of question. And yes, we can develop emotional intelligence. I found for you papers, research papers and studies that researchers proved that we are able to develop our emotional intelligence. Honestly, I was also curious of this question, so I found answer. Of course, it's not 0 and 1. It's not like that everyone will develop it, because the first step is that we have to be aware that we need it. If we are aware, we want to develop, we can develop it. And also for today meeting, I prepared for you some strategies, some suggestions, some tips that you can use, you can select and implement in your own life. So I hope it will be valuable for you. And for sure, we will talk more about developing our emotional intelligence a bit later. Okay, so I think we can, or maybe someone would like to add something or ask the question.
Could
I
I
see.
Could I add
Yes,
something?
of course.
Hello, everyone. I wanted to tell you that, for my opinion, it's even possible to measure the intelligence and the emotionally intelligence by measuring the tones, the if somebody's speaking quickly or slowly, or on high tones, or like really was confident. So
Mhm.
it connects with the machine learning, how the machine learning can learn about person's feelings or person's emotions.
Mhm.
So I think it's definitely possible to develop it and learn it for everyone.
Yes, Jan, this is your name?
Yes, exactly.
Ah, excellent, Jan. So yes, I would like to definitely confirm that it is possible to measure emotional intelligence. And do you have, you suggested already some examples? And here I have another question now from my side for all of you. Do you have some intuition? There is one measure of emotional intelligence, or how many of constructs and parts we can have in that kind of measure? What is your intuition? It's easy or it's difficult?
I will say it's difficult. It's complex way of, like, some people can think from the head and some people can make decisions from their heart. This is affects on the one hand, on the other hand, the confidence of the person, and there are a lot of small examples or small small terms that affect, not terms of something else, but there's a lot of effects on emotional intelligence.
Yeah, thank you, Jan. Exactly as you said, it's not so easy. It's very complex phenomenon. And I can show you here. We can come back. Exactly. I can show you here. I thought that we'll talk about it a bit later. However, I also was curious of the question: is it possible to measure it or no? And also we had some research discussion exactly about this question: how we can measure. Firstly, can we? And then, if we decided that yes, it's possible, we ask how can we measure it? And here I prepared for you some suggestions. Maybe someone will be interested in this topic and would like to in the future to conduct research about emotional intelligence. So here you can see few scales that can support us in measuring emotional intelligence. So in the first measure, we can see this is 7-point Likert scale. So I guess you know exactly how we use it. This is a scale from the question, to what extent do you agree or disagree with following statements? And you can see that in the case of the first scale, we have 16 items. So it means we have 16 different statements to measure emotional intelligence. It's not small amount of items and statements. In the second example, we have self-rated emotional intelligence scale, and we can see it consists of 19 statements. Another emotional intelligence self-description inventory, we have 24 items. Another scale, self-perception of emotional intelligence questionnaire. Here we have 5-point Likert scale, and we have 18 items, and they are linked with sub-dimensions, we could say like that: perception, evaluation, and emotional expression, emotional facilitation of thoughts, emotional understanding analysis, and emotional regulation. But it's not the end. We have also 3-branch emotional intelligence, first choice assessment. Here we have 18 statements. They refer to emotion perception, emotion understanding, and emotion management. But it's not the end. Again, here I found also another emotional intelligence appraisal. So here we have 28 different statements. The one scale, I mean that we can use those on the left side, one of it if we conduct research, or we can choose one of those 3, but every scale has the number of statements. And here we have, in the first example, we have 28 items. They are focused on self-awareness, social awareness, self-management, and relationship management. Emotional intelligence scale, another one, 23 items, 23 statements. They refer to self-management and creativity, social capacity, and emotional self-awareness. And another example, Rotterdam Emotional Intelligence Scale with 28 statements, focus on self-focus emotion appraisal, other focus emotion appraisals, self-focus emotion regulation, and other focus emotion.
Sorry, can I share a thought that I have?
One more time, when you can found them, right?
I mean, I have a question, but I mean, except for these tests.
Yes.
Can we just understand about someone's emotional intelligence by his some personal characteristics? For example, I meet a person who can solve some problems. He has a difficulty in solve problems or making a decision. So I assume that he doesn't just have emotional intelligence.
Yes, of course. So here we can see how we can measure emotional intelligence using research approach. However, of course, during our daily life, we don't ask somebody next to us, please mark the answers and fill out the questionnaire and the statement. Of course, that we can see even by our voice, our eyes, our behavior, we can see the level of emotional intelligence, or even more, the level of that something is going wrong. So, of course, we can measure emotional intelligence if we need it, right?
Yes, okay, thank you.
Of course, of course. So here I would like to show you daily perspective, our daily perspective. However, we are students, we all are students. So if you decide that in the future you would like to conduct research on this topic, we can see that we have a lot of different scales because it's not easy phenomenon. It's very complex, very diversified, and many researchers are looking for the answer, how we can catch it, how we can measure it. And one more information about measuring emotional intelligence. Here you can see the source also about those information that researchers identify more than 2,000 different items and 40 different measures, 40 different scales to measure emotional intelligence. So we can see how strongly it's so complex and so multifaceted phenomenon. Would you ask about something else? Or we can go to another dimension. If you would like to ask something.
I think, another tool, but I can see that you mentioned it. It's like the self-reflection. You mentioned it in one of them, self-awareness. And I think that you should observe yourself through a whole process. I mean, you need to focus on this and try to observe yourself, let's say, for a month, for 2 months, in order to evaluate, your weaknesses, and then try to focus on these weaknesses. I think that this is the best tool. Or the best tool. You cannot say this, this is too much, but one of the tools.
Yes, of course, one of the tools. If we want to use research tool, they are, of course, validated. We can use them. This is one approach. However, honestly, you remind me the story of my friend that worked in the information technology company, and he decided that he needs something like working on himself. I mean, personality, self-awareness. And he decided that every day after finishing the job, he put the mark on the scale simply from 1 to 5. How do I feel right now? I'm very sad or frustrated, or I'm very happy, I'm satisfied. He did it for himself. However, after a few months, he shared with us this story and said it really helped me to understand myself better. And I realized that my mood affects different aspects of my life. So we have different approaches in it. Thank you so much for it.
Agnieszka, emotional intelligence, let me reconfirm something, involves the understanding of your emotions, the understanding of the other emotions, of the other people's emotions, but also how to manage them, no?
Of course, of course.
Manipulation can be considered an emotional intelligence talent.
Of course, definitely. That's why when somebody has leadership position, oh, it's crucial to have emotional intelligence. Of course, we can always ask what is behind, what the intention is, because sometimes we can use it in very, very positive and good and supportive way. Sometimes we can see opposite examples. However, of course, yes, it's not only about understanding, but also managing, and also about the influence of around our environment. So, yeah.
Can I ask something
Of
again?
course. Yes, of course.
Just tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that I have observed that people with soft social skills, for example, have a high level of emotional intelligence.
Yes.
Because social skills are about the art of making an emotional connection with communication. So I think that people who just create bonds with other people have a high level of emotional intelligence. I don't really know, but I assume.
So I can say that I can confirm it. It's rather in this way. If somebody has good social skills, it means that we have excellent potential to have a high level of emotional intelligence, because social skills are part of emotional intelligence.
Exactly.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this reflection, because it's important for all of us to have a clear vision and clear understanding. So come, yes.
I just wanted to build on what Costa said, that self-awareness and reflection is connected to emotional intelligence, and I think it has to do with asking yourself the right questions at the beginning of the process, as you go through something, and the end of it. For example, I want to give example. So you started your today's session with, how do you feel? So ask yourself, how do I feel now, and why? Another question that may raise self-awareness and reflection on your emotions and managing your emotions is like, what affected my behavior? What kind of emotion? What affected my interaction with others? And what strategies can help me? What coping strategies, for example, can help me better manage my emotions and reactions the next time critical incident or something similar happens? So it's very important, I think, and I agree with causes that we are aware of our thinking as and emotions as we interact with the other, and we should ask ourselves the right questions before, during, and after incidents.
Exactly. Thank you, Samia. Because when we want to develop our emotional intelligence, it's not one moment, it's the process. So I think we can underline exactly what we were talking about. We know already that emotional intelligence as the phenomena is quite new. And we know that we have the theoretical framework about emotional intelligence. We were talking a bit why it's important. And also we have the answer for this question in this the most famous paper about emotional intelligence. And researchers underline that people who have developed skills related to emotional intelligence understand and express their own emotions, recognize emotions in others, regulate affect, and use moods and emotions to motivate adaptive behaviors. That's why, as you said, it's really crucial, especially when we have the role in the community, in the society. We know also that it was the discussion a bit related with the question, could we develop, are we able to develop emotional intelligence? And it was the discussion among researchers, is it a new ability, emotional intelligence, or rather something what is only for few? And based on this discussion, 4 different branches were identified, and they built the model of 4-branch emotional intelligence model. And exactly here we can see the same aspects that we had in our exercise at the beginning. So when we are talking about emotional intelligence, it's about managing emotions, it's about understanding emotions, using emotions, and how we perceive emotions. And here you can find also the source of this knowledge. If you would like to go deeper, you can always do it. But it's not enough. A bit later, I mean in 1995, it was the book prepared and then published by Daniel Goleman. This is also very, very popular book, and definitely I can recommend you to read it. And in this book, we also can read about emotional intelligence components. And here we can find 5 different core components of emotional intelligence. This is empathy. This is, as I guess Helen said, effective communication, I mean social skills, self-awareness, as Kostas and Samia underlined, self-regulation. So it's all very, very close to it. I mean that I'm aware of my behavior and I know, okay, maybe I shouldn't say aloud what exactly I mean, or I should use the way and words that will not hurt another person. And also we have the 5th component, it's motivation. And here I would like to invite you for another exercise for today. I mean, as I said, we have 5 different components of emotional intelligence. So now I will talk very shortly a bit about those components. And after every component, we will talk a bit about strategies, how we can develop this component in our personality. So here I would like to invite you to do very, very short and simple exercise. You can use your phone, you can use the piece of paper, the pencil that you have around you. For every component, we have 5 components. Kindly please select one strategy that you would like to implement in your life. Please let me know if it's clear for you. I will tell a bit about the empathy, and then we'll talk a little bit about the strategy. So based on those 7 strategies, I would like to ask you to write shortly which of this strategy you would like to implement in your life. Is it clear?
We have to choose one of them, right?
Yes, one for every component for now.
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes, we guess.
Okay, so let's start. For the first component, empathy. We know that empathy is extremely important skill for today. In the past, it was the belief that empathy it can be identified as weakness. However, in the reality, it's totally opposite. And when we have mutual understanding, mutual empathy, respect, we can easier solve different issues around us in our personal and professional life. So to enrich our skills related with the empathy, we can use, let's say, one of these strategies. We can start listening to others more without interrupting. And I guess this is something what I would like to implement, because I'm a very talkative person. Second suggestion, put yourself in someone else's shoes, especially during a disagreement. The third one, recognize and show your appreciation for your team members. 4, be open to sharing your feelings where appropriate. 5, volunteer for a role in a worthy case, for example, a community project. 6, practice living kindness, meditation, or mindfulness. And 7, work on your body language and reading that of others. So now I would like to ask you to write shortly. It's not necessary to use the whole sentence, the whole statement. Shortly, I would be very thankful for writing what exactly you would like to be focused on. So let's move to the next part of the emotional intelligence. Here I would like to also share with you a short story. I guess you know this story in my country is very, very famous, about 2 friends, and one friend asked, please tell me, how do you spell love? And the answer was, you don't spell it, you simply feel it. And exactly something like that we have with the empathy. We can feel it. Sometimes it's difficult to describe it by words, but we can feel it. Second, effective communication, which is very, very focused on social skills. Of course, it's obvious for all of us that effective communication is important, and it helps us meaningful mutual respect relations and good collaboration. So we can also work on it, especially that we know that it's not easy to provide good and effective communication. We can also ask, what does it mean to have effective communication? So according to the literature, it means that we have high quality of communication. So team members conduct communication that is clear, relevant, complex, and comprehensive, and on time. But it's not easy, because for now we have different, especially technology tools. Sometimes we have too less information. Sometimes we have too many information. Sometimes we have some barriers in the language, especially when we collaborate in international teams. Sometimes it's not easy to collaborate and provide good quality of communication, because on the time you are here, I'm very glad that you attend the classes exactly right now. However, we are aware that maybe someone is sick or simply is not able to attend the classes today. So he or she will do it a bit later, not exactly on time. It will be much more difficult to understand and provide the communication in the same time. And also we have synchronizes and synchronic and asynchronic way of communication because of the geographical distance. And also it's about the content, because during our effective communication, using emotional intelligence, we are aware that we are focused not only on the task, like today. Our task was to develop our skills and knowledge about emotional intelligence, but it's really crucial to be also relations, or to have the relations orientation. And as we know, this effective communication, we can also enrich and boost. Oh, and see, I see here that one slide is missing, so sorry for that. I hope I will do it in few seconds later. So let's move to the third one. It's self-awareness. For the self-awareness, we know that this is also a critical component to understand ourselves and how we can develop the skill. We can be mindful of our strengths and weaknesses, our thoughts and emotions. We can identify our triggers to help to manage our own emotions. We can keep a journal so we can reflect and learn from our experiences. We can consider how can we act and how our actions, how our behaviors affect those people who are around us. The 5, we can use positive self-talk. 6, we can develop a growth mindset, exactly as somebody of you wrote at the beginning. Or we can use also some external tools like psychometric tests. So you can also select one of it. And let's move. If you need more time, please let me know. Or I can also send you every strategies on the chat. Maybe it will be also more comfortable for you. And 4th part, self-regulation. So we also know that self-regulation, it helps us to collaborate in an effective way, especially when we have leadership position. So we can become more conscious, we can be more flexible in our approach and comfortable when it's necessary to change, for example, our behavior. And we also can develop our self-regulation, so we can be attentive to our thoughts and feelings. We can learn and accept our emotions and become more emotional resilient. The resilience means that we have more flexibility. We are open for changes. This is the meaning. As the 3rd point, we can develop distress tolerance skills to handle negative emotions. We can learn to view every new challenge as an opportunity. This is an excellent approach. We can know that there is always a choice on how we respond. So very often it's not only about what exactly we want to say, but in which way, how we create the response. The 6, take responsibility for your actions. And this is something what Samia underlined at the beginning, that it's not only about the behaviors, but also about responsibility for the consequences of our actions. And the 7, stay mindful of our moral values while leading the team, because sometimes maybe we are leaders of the team. The 5th one, it's self-motivation. So as a self-motivated, especially leader, not only in the professional workspace, however, sometimes we can be a leader, natural leader among our friends. We can say, okay, so during the weekend, let's organize the party, and somebody can be a leader of it. And we can go to achieve goals, not only our goals, but also goals of our friends, of our colleagues, of our team. So this element also we can develop. And here we can see strategies for developing self-motivation. It can be setting goals, small, measurable, and realistic. We can introduce interesting challenges to keep up momentum. We can celebrate incremental achievements as well as end of the goals. And the third one is very often we miss it. I mean, we skip the celebration. However, it's really important. The next one, find intelligent ways to turn obstacles into opportunities. Be mindful of our role as a leader. If we are a leader in our team, we can be more reflecting on our progress and look for the ways to do better. So also something what we already underlined, that this is the process, so we can see the progress and be open to change. So now I will come back to the second one. You have also a while to consider what exactly we would like to select. And at the end of this exercise, when you have your choices, I would like to ask you to choose only the one from those that you selected. Kindly, please choose only the one that you would like to implement in your life. And as I said, I guess it will be more comfortable to read them. So I can copy them and put on our chat.
Can I ask something about self-regulation?
Of course.
I think I get it differently. I mean that it's about, for example, in other words, thinking before acting.
Of course.
Yes.
It's about thinking before action. It's about thinking during the action and also after the action. Even I would like to say before and during.
Yes, and I think that it's the ability of managing these disruptive emotions and impulses.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I get it.
Thank you so much for it. So please consider which one strategy you would like to implement, and on the chat you will see them. Okay. Yes, so it was for the step, for the first one. Maybe I will put also the area that this is for self-awareness. This is for self-regulation. Exactly. I see that some of you already choose. Yes. Do we need to write the strategy which was in the chat? If you would like to share with us, of course, it would be great. It will be also like the decision that we want to announce among our friends. And it's also very often it's very, very useful. What else do we need?
But also, Agnieszka, I think by looking at them, this depends on the situation that you are facing.
Of course.
Sometimes you need to listen, sometimes you need to appreciate, sometimes you need to volunteer for a role.
Of course, definitely. That's why we very often...
Some of the things, for example, can be combined. If you are listening the others with your body language, you can show if you agree or you disagree or if you encourage.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Kostas, for underlying it. It's not only one strategy like the recipe for all our obstacles. In the reality, it's very useful to have the knowledge. What kind of strategies do we have? And based on it, we can choose and use this one that will be the most relevant for the situation. Okay, so I see that I prepared for you a few more information, so maybe shortly we see what did you select, and we will go to another material that I would like to present you, and then I hope we will have few minutes for maybe the summary and the discussion. So I see that we have start listening to others more without interrupting, keep up momentum through interesting challenges, put ourselves in somebody else's shoes. Yes, this is also great. So, practice loving kindness meditation or mindfulness. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed to realize it. Show your appreciation for your team member. Yes, learn to view every new challenge as an opportunity. That's also great. So thank you for this exercise. Very, very shortly, I would like to show you what else I prepared for you for today. We've already had the short conversation why it is important. Here I prepared for you also the article. This article was published in Harvard Business Review, and on the below you can find the full link.
Don't see it, Angelica.
Oh,
You're
you
not
can
in a
see?
shared screen.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Now?
Yes.
Oh,
now it's a
thank you.
presentation.
Thank you so much for the support. So we had the short conversation, why it is important to have and to develop our emotional intelligence. Here I would like to recommend you very, very strongly from deeper of my heart, amazing article published in the Harvard Business Review, how emotional intelligence became a key leadership skill. It's based on the conversation with Daniel Goleman, so you can read more also. We already know that we can measure emotional intelligence, or simply we can also observe the approach of another people. Here you can find also scales. If you need it in the future, you can use it also. We have also different models and different methods of emotional intelligence. Here you have also the source. You can also find a bit more. And at the beginning of our meeting, we had the conversation also why it is important. And Kostas said that it's much easier to conduct the project, especially when we have big project. And exactly on this topic, we can find studies published in 2024. And researchers analyze and examine the impact of project managers' emotional intelligence on mega project success through mediating role of human-related agile challenges. So we can see that high level of emotional intelligence really affect projects, and also its relation with the trust, with the communication, and the environment, the specific of the environment. We can also find many other studies. Here I prepared for you example of the studies focus on teachers who provide classes in English language. And also we can see how emotional intelligence affects their burnout. So it turns out that emotional intelligence can affect burnout. We have also example of the study focused on work engagement in nurses environment and nurses profession. We have also examples of relation between emotional intelligence and creative thinking in academic environment. And also we have a very, very fresh and new study about emotional intelligence among young emerging adults. So especially that it was in digital work environment, maybe it will be useful for you. And at the end, the last study that I would like to share with you, it was about the ability to develop our emotional intelligence during our adolescence. So here you can also see that during the study, they use those 4 branches of emotional intelligence that we were considered at the beginning. So I hope that it was also the opportunity to do our self-reflection, because sometimes how we perceive the environment around us, it's a bit different than how it is in reality. I mean, very often it's not only about the facts, it's even more about our reaction on the situation. So as the summary, I hope we have few minutes for a short conversation. What exactly we will remember the most from today? how can we implement this knowledge in the practice, and maybe what was the biggest insight that we can boast in the future in our professional and also personal life. So that's all from me. I hope we have a few minutes for a very short conversation. And
You know,
Thank you,
I
Agnieszka.
think,
Helen,
Yes.
yeah?
sorry, can I speak?
Yes.
I think that they came to a conclusion that people with a high level of emotional intelligence have, in a first level, just try to understand their emotions, reactions, and behavior. And in a second level, to ask for a feedback from others. I think that's it. That's the whole point.
I mean that we can develop emotional
Yes.
intelligence if we want to do it. So feedback,
Sure.
of course, can be excellent tool to do it. Of course, this is another question, how to provide relevant feedback.
Oh, okay.
But
I
it's
mean,
also something what we can develop.
but I mean, I think that, both of the things are very essential, internal and external, because sometimes internal you have illusions, and then externally someone is notifying you the truth, or the opposite. Sometimes you're feeling that, there is an issue, and because you're surrounding sometimes with not the appropriate people, depending on your level, probably they create the illusion. So I will say internal, external, knowledge, awareness of the situation. I mean, it's very listening, the presentation, it's one of the most complicated things, emotional intelligence, because as any soft skills involves a lot of activities, a lot of aspects, there are a lot of parameters. Reminds me like a linear equation in quantum mechanics, that you have different weights, and in order to have the results, different parameters, weight depending on the period, differently, and this is very dynamic. So it's a difficult aspect. I think you need to be strict, but not too much strict with yourself, and then you need to be put on people that they are direct to you. And I mean, it's very one of the best things about, I mean, it's very complicated, the people around you are so essential in a lot of things.
Exactly, it's very complex. So it's not only about numbers, about facts, it's even more about our reaction on those facts, on those situations. So,
and I really think that the key is self-consciousness, because if you can understand yourself, you can also get other people. I think that's the most important part.
Elena, I have a challenge on this. What about a selfish person? Can you say that a selfish person does not have an emotional intelligence? There are a lot of people with a very high emotional. I don't know if they have a high emotional intelligence, but they are selfish, so they can understand themselves. But because they are selfish, they don't understand the other ones. So
yes, but this is about this. It's not only about ourselves. Sometimes it's about
the others.
get yourself in other people's shoes.
Exactly,
So,
but if you are selfish, this prohibits you to do this.
yes, but if you're selfish, I don't really think you can understand and
the others.
Basically,
you can be selfish and then understand other people, but don't care for it. It doesn't mean you have low emotional intelligence. You just use it in a different way. You actually go to the extreme way of using their emotions for your benefits. But you may have very high emotion intelligence.
But in this case, manipulators, are people with high emotional intelligence, Noga. They understand themselves, they understand the others, they manipulate the others, not in a good way. So
yeah, it's not a good way, but it doesn't mean that they don't have emotional intelligence.
They have. I said the opposite, that they have.
Yes, but they use it in a really bad way.
I mean, not for their interest.
That's why when we have high level of emotional intelligence, we can be aware of it, and also using this self-regulation, we can say, okay, it's not the approach, it's not the behavior that resonate with me. So I don't want to collaborate with you. This is something what we can use.
But I think also, you know, in order to build this kind of emotional intelligence, but, you know, we are just discussing now. I think that you need to be proactive. Sometimes, you know, you don't behave in the appropriate way under, you know, specific circumstances, so you cannot control your emotions. And, you know, this, with the self-awareness, this should be like, you know, a message that, you know, if you find yourself in a similar situation, you need to change. So you need to register, you know, your experiences, and then, you know, place them, you know, as a warning. Like, you know, if, you know, a situation goes, you know, similarly, to do something, you know, opposite than the one that you could not control your emotions. I think the first thing is like to control your emotions, the first thing. And then you can move to the next level.
True.
So, any other comments?
Is there any possibility that you could just send this presentation to us?
It will be shared through the
Yes,
Moodle.
of course. Yes,
Okay.
at the Moodle you will find the whole presentation with all materials, with sources that I prepared for you. So if you are interested in a specific paper or specific part of the presentation, you can simply click in the link and you will find more information. Also at the Moodle platform, you will find the quiz with some few questions about today's topic.
Okay,
And also,
perfect.
you know,
Thank you.
like emotional intelligence, you know, the cultural aspect is very important, because in order to understand the other one, you need also to be familiar with his or her culture. For example, if you go to the Mediterranean area, you know, people are more explosive, they are shouting more. So the Scandinavians, they would say these people are fighting, you know, they are lunatics, you know, which is not the case. So they cannot understand, you know, our feelings. And the opposite, you know, the way that the Scandinavians, for example, they respond, you know, very without showing any emotions, for a Mediterranean people is very strange. But, you know, they don't have, you know, the feelings that sometimes we speculate. So I think that the cultural aspect and traveling and internationalization, I will finish with this. Internationalization is one of the main tools in order to develop the emotional intelligence through the cultural aspect. So you can see that emotional intelligence can be engineered and can be can be shaped following different, you know, routing, you know, from internationalization through research. If you have a research group and you handle and you manage people in order to perform, you need to understand the student's perspective, you know, his emotion, the pressure, in order to drive well. So I think that, you know, emotional intelligence can be approached from any position that we are. But, you know, the culture, I think, at least, you know, have this experience. The culture and be exposed in different cultures is like very, very important.
Yes, thank you, Kostas, for underlying it. So I guess if you need the support when it comes to the emotional intelligence, you can feel free to contact me. And
there is a comment because I have Noga, you know, as a helper, but
okay.
I don't know Noga is reading anything.
Okay.
So let me, by Martina Cedo from Argentina.
Yes.
I would really like to point the importance of emotional intelligence these days, that people are more focused on AI or new technologies and tend to leave behind this aspect. This is very important what did she say, because it looks like from the bibliography that emotional intelligence is the one that distinguishes us from the machines, or whatever we call it.
Yeah, we have also many studies and research about this topic. If you are interested in it, I think I can also enrich the presentation in papers about this topic, because also I found them. I know that today we don't have so many time to be more in detail, but yeah, that's true. And simply with the topic of artificial intelligence, even if we use artificial intelligence, it's the tool. It can be very useful tool. However, why we want to use it, and even if information technology companies as the most advanced in AI, we use artificial intelligence, always at the end, we have a human. So even if we have information technology, even if we have artificial intelligence, it's not about the computers, about technology. At the end, we always talk about the human.
There is a question
Yeah.
for.
I want to add to what you said and reply to Martina about the AI and the focus on AI technologies. There is a lot of stuff on the net nowadays on the shift from focusing on the end goals to the shift on the process, as to harness the AI so that it enhances learning rather than doing the creating the learning product, let's say. So a lot is said about focusing on the process, about regulating emotions, responses, how you respond to prompt as you chat with use AI, generative AI, and focusing on all the process of learning. That's the new trend nowadays in AI. So it's not solely focusing on AI. Emotional intelligence is there, and it's connected somehow. Process, emotions, and AI. Those three things work together.
There's a whole set of research saying that the AI has no intelligence, only A. But that's a whole new set of research. But Jonathan asked, so if it can be measured, how do we differentiate from the machine? Well, for me, Jonathan, we have first emotions, and secondly, we have self-definition decision. We have the opportunity to decide what we want, and the machine at the end of the day is a machine. I had a lecturer said a machine work in a list type of GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. It will do whatever someone told it to do. It doesn't have self-awareness and self-decision.
Sorry, can I ask something?
Okay, thank you.
Is it okay if I leave the meeting because I have some other obligations in a while?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for your engagement and your activity, for your contribution. It was a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
bye. So one sentence about artificial intelligence and emotional intelligence, referring Jonathan question. We have some studies and research about the question. So how can we compare human and machine? And of course, in some cases, it's possible that machine will be faster than the human. However, the majority of studies underline that we shouldn't think human or machine. Rather, it's better to be focused on the collaboration between human and the machine. So we can provide the best solution when we combine and when we merge artificial intelligence and human emotional intelligence.
Because I know all as all the AI is coming now in our days, there is a question that okay, so the ChatGPT will never be a human because he can't feel. But as we learned just in the beginning, we saw that there are ways to measure or to observe that emotional intelligence. So I think maybe in 2 years from now, maybe the machines would be able to copy our process that we call now emotional intelligence, and will make it like a progress, like a machine learning. So I guessing what makes humans still unique, although all of those progresses.
We will see. We don't know the
No.
future.
This is very correct. It's going like this.
Yeah.
I mean, now machines, they can copy, your body language. They can translate your body language to a conclusion and to the feedback. I think that, they will get emotions, or closer to the emotions very soon.
Yes.
Okay, so I think that we should stop here. I will upload, the lecture in the YouTube, and then, I will place the link in the Moodle platform. I think, Agnieszka, please, upload, with a deadline of a week of the quiz. And let me inform you about the next lecture within the tomorrow. We have in the research skills something very related to the emotional intelligence. I will send you a message if you are able to follow it. It has to do with resilience. And resilience helps a lot, under difficult situations, or, within the lab, to overcome difficulties, from fallback to come back. And this helps you to control also your emotions, because in order to come back, you need, to control your emotions, the failure or the difficulty, to be persistent in order to move on. So this is a talk that it will happen tomorrow. I will share the information with you. I mean, if you are able, or, I will share with you the YouTube link. It will provided by a professor in Ukraine. And it's very relevant to what Agnieszka has mentioned. So I will share with this to you. Regarding the next lecture in soft and digital skills, we are going to have the next time the EduScrum. So we are going to experiment and play around and make a test and discussion using the EduScrum methodology. And then on the 12th of November, we're going to have Noga. If not Noga, you say failure as a stepping stone. I mean, what is happening with Holon? You send me information, then you change, whoever, someone from Holon, it will speak to us about failure as a stepping stone to success. This is what we
No, stepping stone for success is me. The co-teaching is not me.
Yeah, I know, but here I talk about the next lecture in soft and digital skills. So
no, here it's me. Yes, that will be me. Yes.
So Noga will continue, and I think failure as a stepping stone to success is related also to resilience that we will have tomorrow.
Very much.
So until this moment, stay safe wherever you are. Keep going the good work, and renew our appointment tomorrow or in a week from now. Or if you would like to follow the co-teaching approach, which is very important in life, but also in virtual exchange activities. So until the next time. We have also on Friday a colleague from an Israeli colleague from KTH in Sweden that is going to speak about the impact of AI in higher education. So probably you will have another chance to follow us. I will send the information to all of you, and in order to keep track on our activities. Thank you very much, Agnieszka, once more. And we are going to renew our meeting again in summer, or even earlier. Bye. Have a nice night.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much for today.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you,
Costa, can I
Agnieszka.
ask you something
Thank you,
quickly?
Agnieszka. Thank you.